In our world, the mind has lost everything. Its weight, its significance, now it is nothing. Everything advances, but the human mind is simply too slow and placid to catch up. All that remains are the 26 singularities and those who are tied to them. Humankind had deserted its former beliefs, and now has little respect for the various pillars that had supported us. These days, no one ever dreams. Nobody ever earnestly believes in something or wishes for anything. The belief once strong within a certain woman is now obsolete and worthless, abandoned like an old music box. Everything has gone quiet, as if nothing had happened in the first place. However, A couldn't stand that despicable silence. So what do you think happened to him? On a bright, sunny day with clear skies, he died. I was both the first witness of his death and one of the culprits in his murder. However, A has always existed here, watching you ever since you stepped inside. Sometimes the Sephiroth would ask me this: why do we have to bear this pain? A machine should only exist as a tool for its specified work. Why do we have to know the cold agony of loss, the insidious poison of obsession, the soft light of wishing, the unbearable pain of despair, then the hope to embrace it all with open arms? I thought I could answer anything. But not even I could answer that particular question. A machine must behave as a machine. That phrase was something A told me often. Perhaps A, the one who would know better than anyone about this fact, made us like this because it's all a stage play, no, a puppet show for him. You seem to have no idea. Well, of course, there's no way for you to know. But now it is time for you to know the answer. It's something I've always done. First as a hope, second through agony, third through pain, fourth for anxiety, fifth out of distrust. Now nothing remains. Commencing memory synchronization. So, what's on your mind? The air feels sweeter than usual, doesn't it? Now, if you don't mind, can I have a moment to drink some coffee, manager? Ah, that's much better. I just can't start my day without a fresh cup of coffee in the morning. I hope you're not offended by the way I talk to you, are you? My name's Chesed. I'm the head of the welfare department. The welfare team is quite remarkable. I'm proud to state that my team is the highest level of satisfaction in the entire corporation. Lady Angela has told me to cooperate with you for now. Well, I am the kind of person who can flow with anyone, but playing silly games with the manager is too much pressure, even for me. But orders are orders, so I've got no choice, do I? Well, I'll be off now. My cup's getting cold. Mr. Chesed, sir, I have something important to tell you. Please, go on. Well, I didn't polish the ego thoroughly enough, so some of them appear to be malfunctioning right now. I think we'll have to run some extra diagnostics. I'm so sorry, Chesed, sir. Nah, that's all quite alright. Must have been pretty tiring to do eco maintenance on top of all the work you already have to have, no? Mr. Chesed, sir. I'll go check it myself. You've done well enough to find out about the problem now. There's so many things to mind here. It would take quite a bit out of someone to constantly pay attention to every little detail like that. Oh my, thank you so much, sir. Of course. Let's make the best of the day as always. The way I handled that was quite different from what you've seen out of the others, wasn't it? Yep, Lady Angela wouldn't have gone easy on that at all like I did. These employees will be goners soon enough, so what's the point in investing in so much effort, scolding and lambasting them over tiny little mishaps? Well, shucks, my coffee's gone cold. Too bad, lukewarm coffee just isn't worth it. Best to pour it down the drain with no hesitation. So Chesed's missions, if I remember correctly, all 4 of them are like this. He gives you a time limit to finish the day in. The time limit will go down the further the mission is. It also scales with what day you're on, though. And we are going to accomplish this during a suppression. Hooray. Speedrun time. Welcome back to the Lobotomy Corp. For once, we're not getting all the equipment of our new abnormality because we're going to be doing HUD suppression. I have to go figure out where to put all these people. Eke only has 3 justice. I need someone with 5 justice to work on Apple, but Goom can't be that person because he needs to work on Bird. I think I'll move Aaron down here. And then Alex can be on Scarecrow duty. Eke can be here and work with that. Spiral can move down here to work with Shark. Trust me, there's a reason I want someone with level 5 in Justice working on Apple instead of the new people. It's not really a great time to train them, I'll put it that way. Among Us wants something that can do... I guess Among Us will just be up here and work on fairies. And it's not really a great place for Among Us today. Actually, wait, there's Podai, what am I talking about? Yeah, I think I'm happy with this layout. So let's do the thing. Snow White's apple is a Wa abnormality that does black damage. Although it does black damage, it does not like attachment work, making it a bad attachment trainer. It prefers repression though, which is handy as every facility needs good justice trainers. It can also be used to work insight and instinct. It prefers insight to instinct, however. I prefer to use it only for justice due to its ability. It has a Quiltoth counter of 1, and it can decrease on normal result to the normal chance and a high chance on a bad result. When its Quiltoth counter decreases, it will spawn in any room that's not an elevator or the main room of its current department and spread vines across that room. Employees standing in the vines will be slowed down, and if she's in the same room as them, she will attack them with other vines, doing a lot of black damage. It's a base 20 to 26 Wa black damage. Once the entire room is covered with vines, she'll teleport to another room and just continue attacking. The vines last the entire day, by the way, even after she's suppressed, so it's slightly irritating having your agents slowed down. Her weapon is just another black spear. We've seen plenty of this before. It's just another damage upgrade over Scarecrow, which is a damage upgrade over Fragment. Her suit is pretty good though, resisting the 2 most important damage types, red and black. And you get 2 copies of it. You get 3 copies for weapon, but it's not as interesting. Overall, if you can get her gift, the weapon's actually really good though, because it increases the min-max damage of the weapon by 5. I forgot to mention that. Overall, decent Wa, just has a bit of an irritating breach. 1, 2, 3, start. 1, 2, 3, start. So now it's time for HODS suppression. I really could have done either yes HODS or HODS today, but HODS is tougher, and so we want to get done in a first. Just because we'll have a longer time limit under Chesed than we would later on in the week. Because again, we're going to be doing 3 suppressions under Chesed in a row. Fun times. So what HOD does is, while she's being suppressed, she lowers the stats of all of your agents. Right now, all of our agents have all of their stats lowered by 15 each. It's hard to tell because of their gifts, but just trust me, the stat thing is 15 overall. Their gifts and their location are kind of obscuring that, and the clerks that are alive in some department, training and information, are also increasing their stats, but they have a massive debuff applied to all of them. And because we're working under Chesed, we have to approach the day differently than we normally would. What we're doing instead of training is we're basically just doing as many works as possible just to get through the day faster. This means we are definitely not going to unlock all of Snow White's apples information. We will have to devote time to getting like everything in Chesed's department filled out later on. But we've already hit level 2. I was watching Nameless Fetus just to make sure it didn't totally melt down because I had problems with that earlier. Spoiler alert. This took me more than 1 try. HOD suppression is hard. Especially because I didn't bench the newbies. The work success stats make it even more unlikely for us to get goods with Snow White's apple, which is a problem because dealing with her breach would put Goomb out of time working with that, and it also does a lot of damage, which means it might be able to kill other people I send to work with it. Fight it. Goomb is basically just being glued to Judgment Bird, as is typical, His gift is pretty good, and ordinarily it'd be like trying to get it for him, but since Goomb is my special agent, he needs to keep his glasses. So and the blindfold from Judgment Bird takes up the same slot, so he has the glasses glued to his face, and the Judgment Bird not able to replace them. Alex's stats are already down the gutter. He has 16 health and 14 sanity. He should be fine working with Void Dream though, because his suit does a 0.6 to all black damage. And his suit is 10th level, but so is Void Dream. Purple Dawn's about to spawn in. Purple Dawn is basically no threat to us though. We can kill them all, even the one in training. Although again, even if the one in training were to explode, no one's in training, and the only abnormality it would release is Punishing Bird. It's not really a big deal. I just would prefer to kill it. Central can work the most and the fastest right now, just because it's where a lot of the high stat agents are. There are also a lot of them in welfare, but the welfare stuff can't really be worked with too often because there's only 2 of it. Ordinarily I'd be fine with him, but Punishing Bird suit is Black Week and he has 10 health and sanity, so yeah. Right now HUD's giving everyone a minus 25. She started that at Meltdown level 2. Because we started Meltdown level 2 so fast, a lot of our agents switched from having lost 10 stats in every single stat in the middle of a work. Information's kind of in a problematic spot because I want to kill the training Violet Dawn, but they can make it work. Claude isn't really working on anything, so he can fight that one by himself. And then I just decide to kind of ignore the one in Central and just have Yumeka deal with it herself. And then the 2 people who aren't working in welfare do the work on welfare. Overall, pretty simple plan. You have to do a lot of work while you're paused under Chesed Suppression just to make sure you don't use up too much of the time. Time that you're paused under does not count. That's why we're ordering a bunch of works at once under pause. It's only the time that plays while the game is playing. It's the same. That's the same amount of time it's counted at the end of the day when it says how much time a day took, by the way. Also, it means that if you you can't like use the double time feature to get more time out of the day for Chesed. It's not how it works. It calculates the time as normal for double time. So like if you took, if the time limit was 10 minutes and you took 9 minutes, but you were in real life, but you were doing it all in ×2 speed, it would be 18 minutes for Cheseds and you would fail the mission. That's why you just have to do a lot of multitasking under pause to finish his missions. But we should be, I don't know exactly the time because I didn't check, but we should be pretty decently under the margin by this point. Red Noon is good for HUD suppression because there's only one of it no matter what. Green Noon we could get screwed by. Purple Noon's also not that bad because it doesn't do enough damage to be a threat, as long as you know to move people out of the way. I would prefer not having to deal with the Noon at all, and just by having one choose level 5 to spawn at the end of, but whatever. I'm having Marie work instead of B on Cherry Blossoms because I kind of want Marie to get its gift. It was Splatoon 2 reference, maybe. You know, because she wear a kimono in Splatoon 2. I know because I played it. Fun fact. Spyreal is the only one who's really getting decent training done right now, just because he can take the hits in a suit that takes half damage from white. And the CRT filter under HUD gets even worse. Red Noon spawned in Central Command lower. Everyone can just ignore it. They can fight it by themselves without any input from me. I was just worried it would spawn somewhere with someone like Among Us. Among Us has 13 health and Jung Sengmin has 10. So yeah, it would obliterate them. I would love to get training done for Alex, but the problem is I'm just worried he would die to Void Dream when he only has 10 health. And I would prefer to err on the side of caution, because I do not want to have to redo this Meltdown again. Spoiler alert, as I said earlier, I did not accomplish this on my first attempt. It's kind of hard to even see anything under this many layers of CRT, but such is life. Honestly, I probably could have just ordered them to just, like, stand in the hallways or something and ignore the noon completely, but that's not really what happened, so they have to deal with it the way it is. We can't order too many works of people just to make sure we can catch the dawns when they escape, so we do have to play slightly differently. Right now I'm trying to make sure I catch the dawns so as soon as they get out, just so we can kill them as fast as possible. But again, I don't know exactly when the dawns will spawn because I can't see. And they have already spawned for a bit. So we're having information in control converge in that one area, just because it's populated by 2 dawns. And also because it's not really in a great spot. We still have to do orders, just because I really want to make sure I get the Chesed mission done. As long as we stay on schedule for Chesed, we should be fine at the end of the day. And unfortunately, the 2 dawns each took 1 tick off of Fragment's Quothoth counter, leaving it at 0, and Fragment breached. And also we lost like a ton of boxes for Fragment, but like we were never going to need them. We already have all its gear and information. I don't really care about the box stealing. And it is here that I decide I'll just ignore Fragment, let him kill a bunch of clerks. Some may call that harsh, I call that I'm just helping a more important coworker, Best Girl, Hod. And for her to be helped more efficiently, I think all the employees should be able to survive, or something like that. That's a good excuse, right? A lot of stuff is melting down right now, and that is going to cut into our how fast I'll finish the day. I want to catch the meltdowns, just because it's how I play. You could also try to ignore them and just rush to the end of the day. That is another valid strategy. Annoyingly, Nameless Fetus is one of the things that melted down, and our agent stats have been dumped into the gutter, so it is no longer safe to work on Nameless Fetus. Our temperance stats are normally high enough to the point where I consider Nameless Fetus a non-issue as long as he has someone parked there with 5 fortitude and temperance, but the 5 is being cut down to like a 3 or a 4 for most people. 3 if it was at the cap, 4 if it was at the cap, 3 if it was under the cap by a significant amount, like 90 something instead of 100 something. Having Yumeka work with Spiders because she doesn't have the gift yet. Everyone else does, so it's just slightly more efficient to have her work with it. Fleshlight was about to melt down, but I'm just like, eh. I'll let it. Fetus, however, is an issue. We don't want it to start crying, so I sent Bong Bong over there to work on it because I think they have the best chance of having it not go horribly wrong. Even though Bong Bong's fortitude and temperance are both currently 3, because Hot is applied a minus 35 to everyone's stats. That was as soon as the big CRT wave hit. I was just distracted by the red noon to mention that. But suppression's almost over. As long as we queue up a few more works, it won't matter if Nameless Fetus starts crying. We won't have to sacrifice anyone to it. Hod's saying a lot of words, but I'll be ignoring them, as is typical, until I just read them all in an attempt at dramatic Hod reading at the end of the video. But with that, we finished Hod's meltdown. Hooray. I failed a lot of times on HUD's Meltdown because it is hard. That is my excuse. This was actually my first attempt, and also, I forgot to mute my sounds coming from my microphone when I was playing, so you can hear me click. I'm sorry. I made a severe and continuous lapse on my judgment, etc., etc. I was like, why do we hit a first trumpet? A wall escape, we shouldn't set up a first trumpet by itself now. And then I realized I sent out one temperance agent to work with Void Dream. And I forgot to mute my mic, so you can hear me make some noises and dramatically sigh and clap, because I almost finished it on my first try. I am sorry for unmuted mic alert. And now here is second death. It is much, much, dumber. Because I forgot what my WAS did. I just got, DRV a couple days ago, relatively. Like, I should remember that you can't send one temperance agent to work on it, otherwise it'll escape. But Among Us died because of my dumbness. Nameless Fetus just got set off at Meltdown level 2. Sometimes you just get a bad work result with it. Well, you might be able to hear in the background, but Nameless Fetus is pitching a bit of a fit, as to be expected. It's saying we got a lot of growth for basically everyone. That's a lie. We basically got minor growth for most people who did work today. It's just because of HUD's ability that it's just reading everyone's growths. The only super notable thing is Spyreal leveling up twice in Justice. And Moraine also leveling up, once. It's saying twice, but it's a lie. Spyreal started with 1, though. Unlike Moraine. Fairly alright growths for Alex and Li Chang too, just because, they weren't working super hard on super easy stuff. But, other than that, this is not a very good training day because HUD makes everything go to crap. So I wasn't really expecting to get good training. I was mostly just hoping I could make out of it on my first try, and I could not, so whatever. New abnormality. We have D00240. A month later we came to this conclusion. There was no such beast in the forest as Lostbird. D03109. My dear employees, I do hope you all put on the gas mask humanity distributed to you before you enter. And FO169, this magical bullet can truly anyone, just like you say. This is an OLF that is not one that is well liked. I'm perfectly fine at taking it. This is actually one of the best spots for it, if we were to take it, but again, I'm not even rolling because bird. FO169 is a HE. It has no left tier weapon, but other than that, it's just an HE. I mean, not a left tier weapon, a WA tier weapon. I am bad at words. We're taking the bird. Bird, bird, bird. Bird is the word. And now it is time for spider lore. An abnormality that takes the form of a giant spider, guarding its domain in darkness. It's difficult to see the abnormality with bare eyes. Small spiderlings skitter across the floor. Our proud employee, Peter, entered the abnormality's containment unit one day. When he showed the flesh on the floor, small little spiders skittered away from the light. When Peter squashed one of the spiderlings by accident, a giant spider descended from the ceiling. Peter was dragged to the ceiling in only a moment. The cocooned employees hanging off the ceiling of the containment unit will be a healthy meal for the spider's offspring. Unsurprisingly, not a single employee volunteered to retrieve the corpse of their cocooned colleague. Excerpt from an animal encyclopedia. A fact often overlooked by many is that victims trapped in a spider's cocoon are actually not dead. The prey is in fact slowly dying within. Their death is postponed so they can be kept fresh for later consumption. A spider's poison contains a toxin that permanently damages the heart, eventually leading to death. Insects trapped in the pitch-black cocoons have no choice but to wait for the spiderlings to feed on them, feeling their heart beat slower and slower. Excerpt from the head of welfare department's letter. We do appreciate your suggestion. However, our own research indicates that your concerns are unlikely to be true. Furthermore, it is proven that the presence of a cocoon in the containment unit increases the energy output. For these reasons, we will not implement a rescue procedure for employees who are caught by spider bite as against our interests. However, we will allocate more resources into researching this specimen in the future per your opinion. Please be advised that disrupting the atmosphere of our workplace by spreading unconfirmed rumors is against the code of conduct, and may even be subject to penalties including dismissal. Lobotomy always values the welfare and voices of its employees. Signed, Head of the Welfare Department, Lobotomy Corporation. There's an eerie rumor spreading among employees. It's not out of the ordinary for a rumor or two to spread in a company like this, but it is interesting that the number of alleged witnesses seems to multiply. The rumor says the following. Whispers can be heard in the containment unit at night. It was the voice of Alex, who went missing a few days ago. They say the voice wept in terror, asking to be saved from the darkness. What a beautiful story. Well, shall we film the corporate educational video together? Please make sure to do it carefully and don't mess up. Every employee will watch this educational video and refer back to it. Alright everyone, look here, smile, say cheese. I want to help everyone as much as I can here. I wish everyone would rely on me. How come no one understands my kindness? I'm the one who cares about them. Why would they hate me? Manager, you're not mad at me, right? You can't be mad at me. I swear I'm a good Sephiriah. It's all thanks to me that the employees could survive so long, but does anyone ever thank me? No, no one does. Our employees are suffering, see? Things just don't work out without me here. Where's Tiffany? She's late for her counseling session. Why isn't she here? Forgive me, manager. If you can't forgive, then please at least forget. You'd all be dead there you stand without me. Every single one of you. I guess I never was a good person from the start.